Purely because they have more goal threat than Aberdeen at the moment.
That's going to be the significant aspect of the game,
so,
do you think?
Yes.
You'd obviously love to be playing out there, would you?
No, at my age, it would be a dream that would only come true up there.
You're still playing, though. The Vauxhall Conference League yesterday, Cheltenham 2, Charlie 0, and you were playing. You scored.
And A. Gray scored.
Terrific, Andy. OK. Well, about half an hour ago, the teams arrived here at Hampden to prepare for the match. First to arrive was the Rangers team. And David Livingstone spoke to manager Graham Souness.
Well, we're all looking forward to it. Obviously, you can never play in enough cup finals.
Any nerves on your part?
I'm always nervous. Yeah.
Is it different for you? Different for you as a manager than as a player?
I've got the second best job in football. Any manager would tell you that. The best job is playing, and you're involved anyway as a manager, but playing's the best part. I wish I was playing.
Graham, thanks very much. Best of luck. Bye.
A few minutes later, the Aberdeen team arrived, and manager Alex Smith talked again to David Livingstone.
How are you doing? All right, Alec, can you tell us something about your final build-up to the game?
Yeah, it's been very good. We've done a wee bit of training this morning out at Aberdeen, and it's went fine. Everybody's okay, ready to go.
You seem to be very relaxed yourself.
Yeah, well, always before these games, you've got to be relaxed. I mean, there's hundreds of people who would like to be in this position, so I'm just delighted for most people.
We don't see too many smiles from you, Alec, but are we going to get that tonight from you?
Well, I hope so. I'm smiling now. I hope I'm smiling at the end of the game. I hope it's a great game for everybody, and we can take the cup back up the road.
Alec, thanks very much. Best of luck.
Welcome.
On arrival, the players went out onto the park to inspect the pitch, and Rob McLean spoke to them about their last-minute thoughts and hopes.
Ali McCoist, you've done this once or twice before, to say the least. How are you feeling about the big game?
Really looking forward to it, Rob. All the boys are keyed up, and the week's build-up's been really good, so we're all keyed up and ready to go.
The bookies are making you strong favourites. Current form points in the Rangers' direction. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's not often the bookies get it wrong, so hopefully they're not going to start today. But both teams obviously start even. It's a cup final, and Aberdeen will come down full of optimism, but it's up to us to play on the day. And I think if we play on the day, and hopefully the result will go our way.
And you're sticking with this macho, rugged look with the cut over the eye and the growth.
That's right. I don't think for a minute it'll scare what I like, but I'll do my best.
All the best. Hope it's a good game.
Thanks a lot.
The Dons have also been out on the park. Rob spoke to Willie Miller.
Willie, how are you feeling about the big game?
Yeah, fine. It's good to be back again. I always look forward to cup finals, and this is no exception.
The bookies don't seem to be giving Aberdeen much of a chance. How do you feel about that?
I don't really worry too much about bookies. We'll leave that to the punters. That doesn't concern us. What does concern us is that we put up a good show today and we win the cup.
Obviously keen to reverse the results of the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, they've been great games the last couple of years. I think everybody that came to the game has enjoyed them, but we've been disappointed in that we've lost out twice, so we're looking to reverse that today.
I don't want to worry you, but Ali McCoist's looking pretty macho with an attempted beard and a cut over one eye.
Ali, is he? He's usually quite a smooth character, Ali, but I'm sure he'll be as jovial as ever, but let's hope he's not too jovial at the end of the game.
Willie, let's hope it's a good game. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Rob.
Well, joining our commentator Jock Brown today is Ian St John, and they're both down at trackside.
Thank you, Jim, and we can tell you straight away that we now have the two teams for this afternoon's match. Ian, very interesting selections. Ian Ferguson in midfield for Rangers, and Brian Grant preferred in midfield to Brian Irvine, who was expected to play for Aberdeen.
That's right. Well, let's hope they can play as well as this band behind us. Why is it every time I'm on TV at OB I get a band behind me, you know? But yes, we had the team, and really and truly today is such an occasion, you know, because we all talk about the other two games I've had. I mean, this was been billed as what, great encounters of the third kind. So I hope it lives up to that billing. It's amazing to think that the goals that get scored here at Hampden in this final between these two teams, when you consider they've got two class goalkeepers, they've got outstanding defenders, and yet we still get exciting attacking play with great goals.
We also have this afternoon the youngest player in the field will play for Aberdeen, 18-year-old Ian Jess. Very big occasion for a young man.
Well, it's a big occasion for him, and we'll have to see how he handles it, because, as you know, the atmosphere can be a bit intimidating. But, I mean, you've got experienced players like Charlie Nicholas, for instance. I think a lot depends on Charlie for Aberdeen. You know, he's got to look after the younger players, hasn't he? You know, with the experience he's got.
Well, the other problem too for Aberdeen is their last performance is a very disappointing home defeat against Hearts. What do you expect that will have done to the Aberdeen resolve for this afternoon?
Well, I think all good teams bounce back from a bad result, and I think Aberdeen will bounce back from that, because I think all week they'll have been saying, come on, we played so badly, we can only do, 100 times better than that. Let's get out there and show our fans who've travelled down that we can play. And I think that will be, the way that they will approach the game. And of course, Rangers are a bad... Both teams out of Europe. I mean, Rangers will want to win this very badly as well to redress the balance.
What about the conditions? Are there a breeze overhead, difficult for goalkeepers?
A wee bit blustery, but I mean, the conditions are great underfoot. It'll be maybe difficult for goalkeepers, as you say, but other than that, excellent.
And Ian Ferguson back after a spell of injury. Will that be a problem for him?
Well, you've always got the problem of when you've had an injury and you're coming back for your first game to see if it stands up. If it stands up, fine. I don't think you lose condition. Just been out for 3 weeks.
And the front two, McCoist and Johnston, quickly against McLeish and Miller.
Yeah, well, that's always one to look forward to, isn't it? And, there'll be a lot of attention focused on that. I just hope it's like the other games, it's open, it's attacking, exciting play and great goals.
Well, we're all set, Jim. We're going right up to the commentary gantry now. We're looking forward to the match very much indeed. Back to you.
The lads fighting against the band there. Well, we'll take a break. Join us in a couple of minutes when Andy and I will be taking a look at how both Rangers and Aberdeen made it through to today's final.
Look carefully.
Hello again. Well, Rangers got to the semi-final and a meeting with Dunfermline, having seen off Arbroath in the second round, a 4-0 win there, and then they moved on to meet Morton in the third round at Capello, a 2-1 win there. Then a fourth round meeting with Hamilton Accies, where 2 Mark Walters goals and 1 from Trevor Stephen gave them a 3-0 win. And that then took them through to the semis.
Holding off O'Boyle to find Monroe. Played on there by McCoist for Johnston. Here's McCoist again. Now Trevor Stephen! Walters making for the byline. Well, a misunderstanding there. Played back in by Wilkins. Westwater scrambling across his goal. Stevens inside. Here's Stephen. Now Goff. There's Johnston! The flying header for Rangers second. Here's Gary Stevens. Delicate ball inside. Here's Johnston. There's McCoist. And that was a classic. There's McCoist nodding it on. Tierney had to be careful. Well, that's great play by Stephen. Here's Maurice Johnston. They're queuing up in the middle. McCoist made it. And once again, Johnston plays a vital role in the build-up. Now Johnston. Stevens making for the byline. Here's Johnston dropping in deep. End of cross. Kept in by Walters. Ian Ferguson.
Well, Andy, that night, a terrific performance by Rangers, but a dreadful one by Dunfermline. They hit Dunfermline so hard so early on. Yeah, it looked like Johnston and McCoist actually clicked that night, and the kind of performance that Graham Souness is demanding from them today. But it's not been the hardest of paths through to the final for Rangers. I think they'll be first to admit that. It's been quite easy for them, but they've steadily got better, Jim, as it's gone on, and culminating in that tremendous semi-final here, when they really clicked, everything worked perfectly for them, and they played probably as well as they can do. Is that the intention, do you think, today, Andy? They'll go out and try and hit Aberdeen very early on. Obviously, they'd like to think they could score 3 in the first half. Can't really see that happening, but is that the intention, to hit them hard early? Yeah, I think they'll go looking for a goal early on. I think the way that Rangers, we're having Alan McCoist and Mo Johnston up front, the best way to go about a game is obviously to attack a team. They're 2 tremendous players, tremendous characters, and they both score goals at a prolific rate. And if you're going to use them, then use them properly and get on and get at a team early on. And I would think that Graham Souness will be hoping that one of them can pop the ball in the net early on for Rangers. Curiously though, Andy, the goals haven't been coming for them in the league this season. That's true, they've struggled in the league, they've stuttered a bit, but they have an affinity with this cup. They like it somehow. Previous 3 years they've lifted it. So they have an affinity with this cup that they don't want to lose, and there's something about it. But they haven't stuck it together in the league. You're right there, Jim, for some reason or other.
But I mean, if they can produce a performance like that, then I'm sure that the management and the staff and the supporters here will be happy in Rangers' point of view.
All right, and it will so to Aberdeen's path to the final. In the second round, they went to Fir Park, Motherwell, where they beat Albion Rovers by 2-0. Their third round meeting with Airdrie saw them comfortably through a 4-0 win at Pittodrie. Then in the fourth round, they were at home to St Mirren, a 3-1 win there. The Dons in the semis again.
Now it's McLeish for Aberdeen. There's Brian Grant, he's found space. Now Cameron with a shooting chance. Yes! Aberdeen take the lead. Ian Cameron.
And a smashing goal there from young Cameron, of course, who does not feature today after getting concussed recently. But a terrific goal to win a semi-final.
Great goal. I mean, it deserved to win a semi-final, that. And they'll miss him today, there's no doubt about that, Aberdeen. But they've had a much harder path through to the final than Rangers, no doubt about that. Airdrie, St Mirren, and then Celtic here in the semi-final. They've had to work very hard to get there. But in their way, they've scored lots of goals getting here. They're into double figures. Rangers are into double figures. And Aberdeen will be looking to win, as we said earlier on. They haven't won a trophy for 3 or 4 years now, Jim. They've lost the last 2 Skull Cup finals. They'll be determined to prove it right. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the boy Mason. I played against him a couple of times last year in the reserves, and he looked a class above the rest in the reserve team football. It's great to see him playing today, and I'm going to pay particular interest in him. I see he's their top goal scorer in this competition, and obviously Aberdeen are looking for him to get something.
They'll be looking to, Andy, I would have thought, for a significant contribution from the likes of Jim Bett in midfield. He's very important to them today.
Jim's probably had his best start to the season for many a year. He's coming, he's dictating the play from midfield. That is their strength going forward, I feel, today. It'll be their midfield. They're going to rely an awful lot on Jim Bett and Robert Connor, who's a tremendously skillful player. But if Rangers are going to worry about Jim Bett, he's an ex-player, he wants to do well against ex-clubs, all players do. And he's the one man that can turn the screw for Aberdeen and win them the game.
Theo Schnelders too will be looking to make amends for last year's cup final when he gave away. He still says he didn't, but he gave away the early penalty. Good keeper too, isn't he?
The best in Scotland. I mean, he was voted last year the player of the year in Scotland. That speaks volumes for how everybody thought about him. There's no doubt he's the best goalkeeper in Scotland at the moment, and Rangers have their work cut out. It's great when you look back and you see you've got Alec McLeish and Willie Miller, who I can't believe they're still bloody playing, Jim, I tell you. And here's me sitting up here with you. But you look and you see those two who won't give much away, and you look beyond them and you've got a keeper like Theo Schnelders. It's a great base to build upon.
And young Jess getting his big chance today, just a youngster. Alex Smith thinks very, very highly of this young lad.
Yeah. I'm a great believer in if you're good enough, you're old enough. Alex Smith believes he's good enough at 18 to stick him in. Put him in the final, the lad might surprise a few people, and I hope he's a good game.
Crowd, of course, filling in now today. Big crowd, 60 plus, it's filling up outside. Tremendous atmosphere, we can even feel it in here, can't we? Look at that, packed up there, isn't it? Fantastic crowd, family enclosure too, a big family day because mums and dads, there's all the kids out. That's terrific to see, Andy, isn't it?
It's good to see. I mean, that's the one thing that was probably been missing in our game over the last 10 years is getting the mums and dads and the kids to come together. And there in that shot we see families here. It's brilliant. And
that's lovely, which is nice too. Rangers and Aberdeen standing side by side. Well, let's now go to Jock Brown, and alongside him, of course, is Ian St John.
Thank you, Jim. Yes, back up in the commentary position and all set for the big match. The atmosphere building up beautifully now, and the anticipation of the crowd quite remarkable. And as you say, a real atmosphere to savour here at Hampden this afternoon. A family atmosphere, looking forward to a tremendous match, and the pitch looking, as you can see, in immaculate condition. Ian, good place to be this afternoon.
Oh yes, of course. I mean, I just think about it. I could have been sitting at home and watching Manchester City. That's Villa. So I'm obviously delighted to be here because the Skull Cup final has proved to be a great competition, Jock. And I keep saying to people down in England, you know, that it's the way the competition is run. You know, it's all about goals. It's all about, you know, early games, finish, won matches, and the whole thing is, I think, has culminated in this final here, and it's a marvellous competition.
And the crowd now will erupt in just 1 second because the ball boys have emerged down below us here, and the teams will be following very shortly indeed. Rangers fans there, now some Aberdeen supporters, 20,000 down from the Granite City this afternoon, really hoping that they can overcome the last couple of disappointments in the last 2 years. So the ball boys have sold as a dummy somewhat. They've come out a little bit ahead of the players. Players should be led out by the respective managers. Remember that Graham Souness and Walter Smith of Rangers are not allowed in the dugout for this match after their ban. They have to watch the match on the stand. There's the director's box with David Murray right in the middle of the stand there. The seats behind there are for Graham Souness and Walter Smith. So let's see if they're allowed to come out. Well, there's one way to watch the match. Television set, I think, operating, as well as the view over the ground. So that certainly does. If we've any doubts about whether we're live or not this afternoon, 6 minutes until the kick-off. 63,000 people inside the stadium, and the weather becoming a little bit kinder now. It was rather cold and drizzly earlier on, but the sun has come out, and it really looks a splendid spectacle now. So there's the packed main south stand here at Hampden. Players will emerge from the tunnel at the foot of that. The band striking up now to welcome the players out. The exuberance in the terraces, just what you would expect for a cup final. The Rangers fans on the west, terracing, trying to go to our left, the Aberdeen fans on the east to the right. There's the Warwick band. So the manager's now ready to bring their teams out. Alex Smith on the left for Aberdeen with Graham Souness. These two, I can tell you, are very good friends. Although that will be forgotten for the next hour and a half or so. Players ready to come out. A chat there going on between Willie Miller and Terry Butcher. Another tense cup final occasion. Graham Souness hasn't tasted Skull Cup defeat as the Rangers manager. Quite a remarkable record. They won the trophy 3 times in a row during the Souness reign. And Souness looks very relaxed, so too does Alex Smith as the players emerge to a tremendous reception. Charlie Nicholas going out with Alec McLeish behind him. Ian Jess behind Alec McLeish. Ryan Grant cleaning up the rear. Substitutes following out. Brian Irvin and Willem van der Aert for Aberdeen. John Brown and Ian McCall for Rangers. The players lining up now for the introductions before the match. President of the Scottish Football League, Jack Steedman of Clydebank, leading out Mr. John McKenzie, who is the Managing Director of Mallow Brewery Company Limited. The sponsors. Tim Farry, League Secretary, also at the back. So the officials wasting no time about these introductions. They appreciate the players are very anxious to get on with things. And through to the match officials. George Smith in the middle from Edinburgh, handling his 4th major final. He's had 2 Scottish Cup finals. This is his 2nd Skull Cup final in a row. He was in charge in that marvellous match a year ago, which Rangers won by 3 goals to 2. Linesman this afternoon, Mr. Gossett from Glasgow, Mr. Fox from Galston. I think you can take it the players' minds really are on the match rather than on the introductions. Graham Souness having a few words along the line with his players. Alex Smith savouring the number 8 will play in midfield. So the team on very familiar lines. Mark Walters also fit to play wide on the left. In the front 2, Ally McCoist and Mo Johnston. Well, there's Ally McCoist. He's a record breaker in the Skull Cup so far. He leads with 5 goals in the competition. That will get him a Caribbean holiday if it stays that way. There's his record. 9 goals this season in all, and looking for his 6th Skull Cup winners medal. And Ian Ferguson must represent something of a gamble for Rangers this afternoon. He hasn't played since being injured about 3 weeks ago. 22-year-old with 3 caps. There's that transfer fee when he came to Rangers from St Mirren nearly 2 years ago. Well, Aberdeen manager Alex Smith had lots of considerations about his lineup, and he's left Brian Irvin alongside Willem van der Aert on the bench. Ryan Grant wears number 4 to play in the middle of the field alongside Jim Bett, Paul Mason and Robert Connor, and young Ian Jess is selected to play up front. So there's Charlie Nicholas. So he is anxious to break his scoring duck. He hasn't scored this season at all, which is really quite remarkable. He did score in a League Cup final way back in 1981 for Celtic. So Nicholas, a key man up front, and his striking partner this afternoon, the youngest player on the field. He was signed for Rangers before being released and then going up to Aberdeen. 18 years old, he won't be 19 until December. Starting only his 8th first-team match. The referee, one of Scotland's most experienced officials, 46-year-old civil servant from Edinburgh, George Smith, who handled last year's final with such calmness and authority. And he was in charge of the Celtic Rangers Cup final of 1980 and the Celtic Dundee United final of 1988. So a very experienced match official. So the opening stage of the match sure to be crucial. Aberdeen still smarting after that 3-1 defeat against Aberdeen in the league 8 days ago at Pittodrie. And Rangers coming to this match after a good victory against Dundee United in the league. So a tremendous build-up of noise around Hampden. 63,000 people waiting for referee George Smith to get the 44th League Cup final underway. So a calm check around the stadium. The referee checks with his linesman. It's Aberdeen who'll start the match. And it's back with Brian Grant. Johnston making a challenge. Just a bit of involvement here for Chris Woods. He'll relish this early touch of the ball after his shoulder injuries earlier in the season. Missed 8 matches so far for Rangers. Fleece going up with Johnston. Here's David Robertson. Nicholas through the middle on his own for the moment. Supported there by Mason. Goff's interception. Here's Ferguson and Walters. And Ferguson, Washington being involved very early on. Linking here with Walters. McCoy sends it back. There's Stuart Monroe. Wilkins to Goff. Wilkins and Ferguson are the central midfield players for Rangers. Stephen on the right, Walters on the left. And Jim Bett lays it back calmly to Alec McLeish. Here's Snelders calling for a touch of the ball. Goalkeeper's always anxious to get that first touch. Alec McLeish calming things down at the back for Aberdeen. Gary Stevens wins that high ball, but he's been given a free kick for the challenge made by young Ian Jess. A man with a very bright future in the game, but what a major occasion this is for him, a day he'll never forget. Goff plays it forward. There's Johnston with the layoff. He was taken late by Willie Miller. Well, the referee keeping a very tight grip on things because he could have allowed the advantage rule, and Willie Miller's little outburst there being picked up by the referee. George Smith stamping his authority in the match very early on. And it's Wilkins with a free kick. Goff has gone forward, so has Butcher. It's Johnston who gets the touch. And behind for the Aberdeen goalkeeper. All a bit tense and nervous early on, Ian.
Well, both teams are feeling each other out at this particular stage, but I think Rangers, you know, have got to think of other ways of getting the ball up to McCoy and Johnson rather than knocking long balls, which I have seen them do this season, and I don't think it's a good ploy at all. I think they've got to play through midfield and then give the boys a better service.
Willie Miller going across the bows of McCoist. Here's Mason. Nicholas with a return pass. He was taken late by Goff. Very hefty challenge there on Charlie Nicholas by Richard Goff after he released a very fine pass to Jim Bett. Well, this is certainly not messing about, that's for sure. There's Nicholas laying off the pass and taking that thumping challenge late from Goff. Well, we've now seen Mo Johnston take a hefty blow from Willie Miller. Now it's Nicholas' turn from Richard Goff. Is this an indication of what we're about to see in?
Well, that always happens in the game, you know. There's a little tit for tat, you know. One of your forwards gets a bang, so a big defender at the other end has a go at the opposing forward. I hope the game doesn't degenerate into a kicking match, because the stage is not about that, is it? It's about playing football playing entertaining stuff today.
Well, the Aberdeen physio did well. He'd been given plenty of time by the referee to attend to Charlie Nicholas. Perhaps the referee has in mind that a little bit of a delay now might not do any harm to calm things down out there. Well, Nicholas certainly is used to hefty treatment, but he didn't welcome that, that's for sure. A free kick been taken by McLeish. And Chris Woods calling to Gary Stevens to leave that to him. No misunderstanding there. Johnston getting up well again. Here's Walters. Trying to take on McKimmie. And there will be a free kick. Bit of obstruction there by McKimmie. Trying to prevent Walters getting off his mark. Another opportunity for the Rangers central defenders, Terry Butcher and Richard Goff, to make their way into the box. There's Walters. Headed away by Connor. Wilkins retrieves it. Difficult one for Stephen. No room at all to turn. He knew the challenge was coming in from Robert Connor. And he's quite happy to take this. Gary Stevens to Wilkins. Held down by Miller. Good dummy that by Bet. Here's Mason. Looking for a run from McKimmie on the right. He was impeded surely by Walters. No, the referee saw nothing wrong with that. Mason certainly was obstructed there by Ian Ferguson. Free kicks already taken. Laid wide by Connor for Robertson. Good running by David Robertson. He's away from Stevens. Here's Jess. Going against Gary Stevens. Good play by Wilkins and by Stephen. Johnston using Wilkins again. The point of attack switch to the left by Gary Stevens for Butcher. Boyce had space, had he been able to control that. There's Connor now for Aberdeen. Great play by Jess. Well, that'll give him a great boost to his confidence. Long ball forward from Bet. And a good leap and fine header by Richard. Very encouraging bit of play that from Ian Jess here.
Looks a talented young boy. I hope he settles into the game well and we see his talents today. It is a big occasion for him, but I mean, he's got some very good players around him, and Aberdeen play good football. You know, they play good studied football, so he should get plenty of service.
David Robertson stepping in, cutting off that pass intended for Johnston. The referee wants the throw taken, several yards further back. Robertson with a header. The Rangers continuing to press on the right flank. Gary Stevens capable of a long throw. Butcher has gone into the box. Target there was Butcher, there he goes. And Walters almost get in there. Well, the Aberdeen players upset about that challenge by Walters, but Stuart McKimmie here is almost penalised for waiting for the ball to reach him. Just look at this, and Walters it was who stepped in. Had to be turned away by McLeish. Well, that could have been costly for Aberdeen. Ball taken by Stephen. Towards Wilkins. That was well read by Bet. And a fine pass. Here's Nicholas. To play that through the legs of Stevens.